So you can see we've got a couple of guys from Funktion-One in the background here, and I thought it was quite interesting to show the setup. So they're just getting going on setting up the room with the speakers, and as you can see, it's quite a scientific, technical process, more than I would have thought as somebody who doesn't know a huge amount about sort of audio spaces and how you use it. But I thought it was quite interesting just to show, before we've even got going, the sort of prep that needs to be done from an audio kind of sound point of view. And Christian's going to be speaking to me later on to give me and share with us a bit more about Funktion-One, about the speakers, and about the setup and how they work the way they do. But yeah, quite interesting to see just how technical it is in setting up speakers in the room. So I'm here with Christian from Audio Feed, who's bought all of the Funktion-One speakers and done the setup with us today. So just tell me, because I know nothing about this sort of side of it, give me a little brief background on Funktion-One and why you've done the setup you've done today here.
So Funktion-One are a British manufacturer based up in Dorking. They have been a big part of Audio Feed sort of legacy up till now. Oz Jeffries, who's the owner of the business, has been a Funktion-One lover since he started the business, and it's entirely why I joined the company as well, because they're a well-renowned brand and headed by a guy called Tony Andrews, who is a genius in his own right. Whether he would take credit for that himself, I don't know. So the stack we've got here is really made up of, I suppose, two components, but there's actually four drivers. So you've got the Evo 2 box on top, which is made up of a 1-inch, an 8-inch and a 12-inch driver. So there's effectively three speakers in here. And then on the bottom, the subs is just two F118s, which have been double stacked.
You were setting it up in this kind of quad and looking at right angles, is that right? Because there's a lot of science, isn't there, in the setup?
Yeah, so it's basic maths. Unfortunately, something that I hadn't done after school until I started at Audio Feed, which is Pythagoras, basically. So it's more just working out a perfect square or rectangle or right angle. Right angle triangle is really what we're trying to achieve, because the speed of sound is quite slow, and so if you just chuck the stacks in any sort of formation, there's a chance that the time alignment will be out by however much, 1 millisecond, 10 milliseconds, and that can cause this almost galloping kind of effect where, let's say you've got a bass drum that you're hearing over that side slower than this side, and that can be really, really disorientating for a listener.
Yes.
And so getting the maths correct is really imperative, and there's not much room for compensation.
I suppose, like you say, if you don't get that right at the start, it impacts everything about that sound
experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it makes the coverage uneven, and it can nullify the effect of the cancellation outside of the quad as well. So it's important to get that right. Sometimes it can take a few tries, like it did today with this lovely curved room.
I mean, just because it's interesting, how long has it taken to set up today?
About 2 hours, something like that. Yeah, which I wouldn't say is a long setup by any means. Like, you know, we've definitely had longer, but normally it doesn't take 4 tries to get it that right in a room which is wide open like this. But it's definitely the curves were. Cool. So we've set up a quadraphonic system, or 4-point, for this particular install, mainly because it fit with the visual aesthetic of what they're trying to achieve here, but also from a coverage point of view as well. It's one of Audio Feed's kind of signature setups, where it can cover across the dance floor in a really nice even fashion, but also create some cancellation outside of the quad as well, which helps things like off-site noise management. Cool, and then everything has been powered. Well, we've got a nice little DJ setup here just for playback, but then sort of part of the brains and heart of the sound system is our amp rack here, which is all made up of MC² amps, who are, again, one of our manufacturers that we don't tend to stray too far from, really. Today we're only actually using these 2 Deltas, and these 2 are from a previous gig, which we've just come off of. But we've got the Delta 100, which is driving all the subs. and then the Delta 80, which is driving all the tops.
So I'm leaning against a very expensive Funktion-One speaker here, but I wanted just to say we're really grateful to Funktion-One for partnering with us. And one of the reasons we chose Funktion-One when we came up with this idea was really we wanted to work with a company that shared the same values as us in terms of producing music and audio of a high quality, and being experimental and innovative, which is what Funktion-One is all about. So we're really grateful they've worked with us on this project, and it's exciting, I think, for a brand that's more traditionally seen in raves or festival spaces. I think it's really interesting to see this sort of equipment being used in an art space with the artists of the future. So we'll see how it goes.